Imagine a life where you can actually let go of holding on to people. Well, that's the art of forgiveness. And that's exactly what today's video is going to be about. You see, many times throughout my life, I had lots of different things that happened to me throughout my childhood, which put me in a place where some of these things, forgiveness, I felt like there's no way I can let this happen. Like, there's no way I could forgive this person for what they've done to me. And I held on to it. And eventually I could, in a whole nother video, I discussed resentment and what that means and like how to be released from resentment. But in this video particularly, I'm talking about the art of forgiveness. You see, resentment stems from the inability to forgive people and holding on to things and not letting go of them. See, but with forgiveness, the most important thing about forgiveness is you're not forgiving the person for them. You're forgiving the person for you. Because what happens is when we don't allow ourselves to forgive others for the harm that's done to us, it actually blocks us off from all new energy rushing into our life. If we're carrying unforgiveness to certain people, it actually starts to leak and bleed into other areas of our life. See, subconsciously won't allow certain people into certain areas of our life if there's unforgiveness in a certain specific situation. So I'll give you an example and just a little trigger warning before I get started. I want you to know that what I'm about to talk about might not sit with you the right way. So I was sexually molested by a man when I was younger. And during this time that I was sexually molested, as I grew older, I was obviously unwilling to forgive this person. I was so infuriated, so angry that I just could not let go of it. See, the crazy thing about that, though, is I had suppressed the memory for such a long time, I really didn't realize it had happened to me until I was 16 years old. See, and then I brought it to the attention of my parents. And because of the time that elapsed and everything that took place, my parents cut ties in the relationship with this person, but no legal ramifications took place. I was hurt by that experience, and I also held not only the person who did it to me, but my parents responsible. So then moving forward in all areas of my life, I was unwilling to allow men to come into my life. I created a block guarded by a wound that allowed me to not develop relationships with men. Coupled that with a tough childhood with my father, and you could only imagine how distant I was from even the idea of having a relationship with a man. Well, I'm here to tell you that all of that has changed today. And that's because I forgave my uncle for what he did. You see, I had to let go of all of the things that happened in my life from that man so I could be free. That doesn't mean that I go and hang out with him and we hang out and go on trips together and he's like my homeboy. That's not the case. Matter of fact, I have not spoken a word to him in many of years. And I think that that is amazing because that's a boundary and that's allowing somebody not to get close to me and allowed to harm me further than what they already have. You see, I released the forgiveness towards him so that I could be free. And so by being free with forgiveness, I have allowed myself to move into new interpersonal dynamics and new relationships. It has allowed me to in turn forgive the person that harmed me, to now in turn forgive my parents. So now my parents are free and I am able to develop relationships with them. Now, it also allows me to set new standards and boundaries in all areas of my life. You see, forgiveness allows us to unlock things inside of ourselves which we never thought was there. See, it allows our value systems to change and allows us to be new human beings. See, the universe will allow all this new energy and these blocks to completely dissipate once forgiveness is in place. So we must continue to practice forgiveness. And the easiest way to do that is that when somebody harms you immediately, you need to work on forgiveness the second that it starts to happen. I'm not talking about forgiving somebody completely overnight as soon as they've harmed you, but I am telling you that you need to start thinking about it immediately. Because what happens is if we allow this unforgiveness to fester and grow into more and more and more in our life, then that develops into resentment. And resentment is really harder to get rid of than it is to forgive somebody. Now, on the other side of the coin, when we allow forgiveness, it opens up the pathway to have empathy for other people in their situations. It allows us to have self-love for ourselves because when we make mistakes, we're able to forgive ourselves. See, throughout my life, it's been characterized by me not having the ability to forgive myself for mistakes that I've made. I actually carry those burdens still sometimes into situations that I go into today. But I am always reminded of the forgiveness that I practice to other people, which in turn allows me to forgive myself. I hope you love this video today. Do me a favor, come down here, hit that like button, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. I drop content every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an awesome day and take care.